Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, But I'm Strong. I want to say thank you to those who did view my original introduction video, and those of you who subscribed. I really appreciate the support. And also for those of you who did contribute to my page for the MG Walk for 2014, thank you for that also. If you haven't donated yet, and if you're interested in donating, please go visit my page at mgwalk.org/drummerclan. I'll put the link in the description box. So today, what I want to do is just talk about my diagnosis. When I tell people that I have myasthenia gravis, one of the first things they ask me is, how did that happen? How did you know you have it? What happened to you? So I just wanted to go over that briefly. So in 2003, I was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis. At that time, I was a senior in high school, and I was the captain of my step team, and the school year had just started. So as a captain of the step team, what we were doing in the beginning of the school year was auditioning newcomers for our step team. So my co-captain and I was holding auditions pretty much every day after school, and we would either be coming up with routines or actually auditioning the girls for the team. And I noticed a couple of weeks into auditioning, my muscles were feeling really, really strange. And I thought it was because, I hadn't worked out or did any, strenuous activity all summer long. So, naturally, if you go from inactivity to just, exercising every day pretty much, your muscles will feel kind of tired and kind of sore. So that's what I thought was going on. I kind of ignored the symptoms and just chalked it up to, it'll get better once I give myself a chance to rest. So I'm going to school every day, and I'm having these auditions, and I'm starting to walk funny, and it's becoming difficult to lift my arms above my shoulders, but still, I'm just ignoring the symptoms. I'm telling my mom, Mom, I'm so tired. These auditions are really wearing me out. My muscles feel funny. And we just thought that it was just because I was tired and, because I was just working too hard for the auditions. So then all of a sudden one night, my mom made dinner, and she made steak and mashed potatoes. And my mom always makes her steak so tender. So that's why I love it so much. I love her steak and mashed potatoes. And it's always so tender just because of the way she prepares it. So that particular night, I'm chewing the steak, and I'm like, Ma, you're losing your touch. This steak is hard. And then she's like, how can it be hard? Look, I can cut it with my fork. Why is it difficult for you to chew? So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why it's so difficult, but I can't chew through this steak. I don't know what's going on. And then I told her that I was just going to make an appointment with the dentist because probably there's something going on with my teeth or something like that. I didn't know, at that time I didn't know anything about muscle weakness and, muscle disease. So it didn't dawn on me that maybe I should go to the emergency room because this is not right. That didn't dawn on me. So I prepared to go see the dentist, but it just so happened that the day after, on my way to school, I start walking down the stairs to get into the train station, and I fell. And it's like my legs just went out from underneath me. It was as if they were like temporarily paralyzed. It felt like they were jelly or spaghetti or something. So I called my mom, and I tell my mom, Ma, I fell in the train station. And she said, you fell? What do you mean you fell? I said, I don't know. My muscles have been hurting me a little bit, and they feel kind of weird. And for some reason, my legs just gave out on me while I was going inside the train station. So my mom says, well, did your blouse get dirty? And I said, no, Mom, my blouse is not dirty. My uniform is still clean. I didn't get dirty. I just, my stockings don't have a run in them. I just fell. So she goes, well, since your blouse is not dirty, are you walking now? Yeah, Mom, I'm walking. Well, go ahead to school. So I said, okay. So I go to school, and all that week, I'm walking funny. I can't even do the auditioning anymore because, it's so difficult walking. I needed a hall pass just so I can use the elevator in our school. I was just so weak. My muscles just felt so fatigued, and I really didn't know what was going on. And I still didn't think that I needed to go to the hospital. So one particular morning, I went to the bathroom, and I was preparing to get ready for school or whatever, and I sat down on the toilet, and when I attempted to get up, I could not get up. And I'm like, trying to push myself up, and nothing is happening. So I call my mom, and I'm like, Ma, I can't get off the toilet. I don't know what's going on. So she gets me off the toilet, and then she sits me on my bed. And I sit on the bed, and then like my body collapsed. I couldn't hold myself up at all. So my mother was like, okay, listen, you're not going to school today. You need to rest. I'm going to leave you home with your little cousin, of all people. Don't call my aunts and uncles. Leave me home with my little cousin. But I'm happy she was there because she really did help out. And it was as if she was really babysitting, because I was like an infant at that point. Like, I needed her to help me up out of the bed. I needed her to help me get my stuff together, to eat. I needed her to help me to the bathroom. She did everything for me that day. So, just as a sidebar, never underestimate the people in your life, because even though at that time, she's way taller than me now, but at that time she was smaller than me and she was my little cousin and she didn't understand what was going on, but God put her there that day for a reason. And she was there just to help me that entire day. And by the end of the day, when my mom got home and she realized how weak I was, that's when she said, okay, we're going to the emergency room because this is not right. You can't even walk at this point. So we go to the emergency room. They decide that I need to get admitted. Once I get admitted into the hospital, they run a series of tests trying to figure out why I'm having this muscle weakness. And the first few tests that they did run were in EMG and CV studies, and basically studying the activity in my muscles. And with that, they also did a muscle biopsy where they took a piece of tissue from my left thigh and they observed it just to see what was going on with the muscle tissue. And with all of that, they concluded that I probably had something called polymyositis, which is just a disease in which you have inflammation in your muscles and it causes muscle weakness. So one of the treatments automatically for the polymyositis is to start prednisone. Now, when I came into the hospital, the only symptoms that I really did have was the weakness in my proximal muscles. So it's basically, my shoulders and my arms on the top, and then like my trunk and my thigh area. And and then I had the difficulty with my jaw muscles because I was having problems chewing, but I didn't have any problems like swallowing or anything like that, or at that point I didn't really have any problems breathing. So they started the prednisone, and of course, as soon as they started the prednisone, it's like I went downhill. Everything started shutting down. All of my muscles became weak. I had double vision. I had droopy eyelids. I couldn't smile. My facial muscles had gotten weak. I couldn't chew. I couldn't swallow. I was nasally. I was talking as if somebody had a chokehold on my throat. And I was just overall weak. I couldn't raise my arm, everything. Everything was so bad. It was just like I was a Raggedy Ann doll, just laying in bed, couldn't move, couldn't speak, could barely see because my eyes were so heavy. And the doctors at the time didn't really know what was going on. They were nervous. And they were especially concerned about my breathing, so they wanted to take me to the ICU because they wasn't sure, I would continue to be breathing on my own. They felt like it would be just a matter of time before I couldn't breathe on my own. So they took me, right before they were about to go to the ICU, I remember my family, they came around, they prayed, and they were just like, Lord, just send a miracle because, this is not, this can't be the end, this can't be all there is for her. There has to be something else. So right before they sent me to the ICU, one of the neurologists that was on my team came in and she said, before we send you down, we want to try just one more test on you just to see if we can find out what's going on. So they gave me, what they did is they ran the Tensilon Test, which is what you usually do when you're trying to rule out Myasthenia Gravis. So basically it's an injection, and with this injection, if you do have Myasthenia Gravis, all of your symptoms should go away in this short period of time. So sure enough, they gave me the injection and it was like a miracle. I was right back to normal. It was like nothing had ever happened. All of my muscles rejuvenated, no droopy eyes, no double vision, no nasalness. Everything was perfectly fine. And even till this day, my mom and I joke like, why can't I just have like a pump to just give me that injection all the time so I could just be strong all the time? But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But anyway, so that's how they found out that I had Myasthenia Gravis. And, that's how my official diagnosis was made. That's basically my story of how I got diagnosed. If you have Myasthenia Gravis, please feel free to comment and let me know how, you were diagnosed. How did you find out you had Myasthenia Gravis? And I also want to say, if you're looking at this for the first time and you just received your diagnosis for Myasthenia Gravis or any disease for that matter, don't be discouraged because it won't be like that always. You may feel really, really weak right now. You may feel like your world is tumbling down. I know for me, it was very difficult because, like I said, I was a senior in high school and I had already been accepted to college. I got a scholarship. And, you know, I was the captain of my step team. To me, everything was just going great. I was getting ready for prom. Things were just awesome for me in my little world at 16 years old. It was like I was having the best life ever. And just for this disease to come, it really consumed me. And life as I knew it had changed so drastically. I couldn't go to the college that I wanted to go to because going away to college was not an option with muscle disease. And, you know, I didn't get to go to my senior prom. I had to be homeschooled for the rest of the year because I couldn't make it to school and back. And thankfully I was able to go to graduation, and I was actually able to walk across the stage and receive my diploma. But, you know, other than that, everything had changed so much for me. And when you go from being independent and ready to start life on your own, and, you know, as an individual, when you go from that to being totally dependent on other people to do simple tasks such as just feeding yourself or helping you get from place to place, it can do a lot. It can do a lot to your psyche. It not only makes you, you know, physically handicapped, but it makes you mentally handicapped also, because you get into that mind frame where I'm just so weak, I'm helpless, what's the point in going on, what's the point in living, what's the point if I have this? But you can't let that happen to you. You just have to know in your mind that, listen, I have a disease and this is where I'm supposed to be. God has me here for a reason, you know, and you can't focus on what's happening in the natural. You have to tap into your spiritual self and just tell yourself that, yes, I know I may not be able to lift my arms or walk, but I am strong. Strength is not totally determined on, you know, how high up your hands can go or how far you can walk. That's not strength. Strength is showing how long you can endure when stuff happens to you. You know, when life gets you down, you can't understand what's going on. When you're able to tap into that inner strength and still believe that I'm strong and I'm still going to succeed, I'm still going to try and I'm not going to give up, that's true strength. And sometimes the only way you can get that strength is just tapping into your spiritual being, tapping into that connection with God, tapping into prayer. I know for me, I kept reading my Bible. I kept praying. That's the only thing that saved me. My church family, my family is a praying family. Just having that support group is what helped me to, you know, really hang in there and not give up and not let this disease consume me. So that's my advice I would give to people that are experiencing something like that. Don't just from the get-go make up in your mind that you're going to fight this, even when it feels like, you know, this may be your last day on earth. Just still know, okay, so it may feel this way, God is still working and God is in control. I encourage you all to please be blessed and most of all, stay strong. Thank you for watching.